Hey guys, this is Khroen. I play Assassin for 2Art Gaming, and today I just wanted to make a little video about Jaina and her recent changes to her talent, or her trait rather, Frostbite, and the talent Deep Chill. So, the change in this latest patch is the bonus to the movement speed slow applied by Chill is decreased from 35 to 30%. If you took the level 1 Deep Chill talent, before you would get the 35% slow instead of the 25% where it normally is. And now it is decreased to only 30, so um, only 5% change there. So this talent is really, not that useful anymore. Even before, people still might have opted to take Lingering Chill or even Winter's Reach with the Q build on Jaina. Maybe there's some merit to taking Conjurer's Pursuit as well. But because the build before for Jaina was pretty usually like the getting Deep Chill into Snowstorm into either Frostbitten or Frost Armor depending on enemy team compositions. If they have auto attack heroes like Zeratul or Reyna or Vala that can like mess you up if they're just freely auto attacking you, Frost Armor is really good against. For one, because it chills them, so they're slowed already and can be more easily collapsed upon, and it reduces the next basic attack or blocks next basic attack, reducing its damage by 75%. So really good against the Zeratul trying to blink in and do a lot of damage to you. And then I would say Water Elemental is more favored. Sometimes Ring of Frost is really good. I know there are a lot of teams who like Wombo Ring of Frost with other things, and it can work out a lot of the time. But Water Elemental is probably the usual choice. Into either Ice Block or Icy Veins. Probably Ice Block more times, it's just the safer option. But Icy Veins if you really want to output a lot of DPS as fast as you can. I see that's what it's for. Into either Northern Exposure, which is the 2-second vulnerable with your Cone of Cold, or Numbing Blast, which Cone of Cold roots chill targets for 1 second. I usually prefer Numbing Blast because I think crowd control. You already have a lot of crowd control as Jaina with your trait, but having that root just to stop them in place for 1 second is really good. Obviously they can't escape if they're rooted. Um, into Bolt of the Storm, which is probably like the option that 99% of the time you would go. Maybe there's some merit for Wintermute if the enemy team actually just like can't get on you ever to kill you, but Bolt of the Storm is versatile in the way that it allows you to obviously like, get away if you need to, or blink into the opponents if you can catch them out of position, which I like to do a lot of the time. So Bolt of the Storm is pretty good talent. But now, with the change to people not really needing to take Deep Chill anymore, that provides, I think, more of an incentive for Q build to be taken because even let's say you take Winter's Reach talent level 1 and Frost Shards talent level 4, where okay, well Winter's Reach increases the range of Frostbolt by 30%, and Frost Shards will now pierce the first target to hit an additional target behind them. That's a lot of harass. Say if you're sieging towers, say like you have a little advantage and you're trying to take an opponent's like set of walls in front of their fort. You can even like harass heroes behind the wall because your frostbolt will pierce that wall and hit behind them. And you can do this from a really safe range because you have this 30% increased range. So that's a lot of poke, a lot more poke that you have. And combined with the level 7 talent, Ice Lance, the cooldown of Frostbolt is reduced by 2 seconds if it hits a chilled target. So Frostbolt has a 4 second cooldown. Imagine you're just throwing frostbolts out every 2 seconds and hitting one, maybe two targets and critting them because your frostbolt will crit if they're chilled. Yeah, amplifying damage from your abilities by 50% if they're already chilled. So that's a lot of damage from a really safe range that I think will maybe become pretty meta. And you can even combine this with Icy Veins, so you actually Frostbolt like every second, and it's pretty ridiculous. There's just so much damage in one team fight. If you're allowed to just like free cast and not have much pressure on you, that's so strong. And then either Northern Exposure or Numbing Blast will probably still be the choices, unless you'll still go. I've seen Jaina's go this Blizzard build where they go the increased radius into increased cast range into the number of waves because you can blizzard from extremely far away and get away with it. But, it's not really, I don't know. I don't really favor that build. I think it's not versatile enough. Not allowed to, like Blizzard is was it 15-second cooldown. Like that's waiting for another one of those. You only get like one Blizzard off in a team fight. I don't think that's very beneficial really. And still Bolt to the Storm because Bolt is pretty broken. So yeah, all in all, essentially, I think that with Jaina's patch, like developer comments, they're pretty right. Having 35% slow at level 1 is extremely hard to play against. That secures so many kills. Say like if you have a ganking Jaina, you can just walk up to them in Cone of Cold and they're slowed for 35 second or 35%, and they're gonna be pretty much permanently slowed because you're gonna be throwing spells at them. That's really hard to get away unless you have an escape. So to 30%, I think it's a good change all in all, but then it opens up a world where you can then go Winter's Reach or Lingering Chill, maybe even Conjure Pursuit if you're finding that you want to spam spells a lot. Because just playing the other day with this Q build, it does waste, or not waste, but it does spend a lot of mana, so you have to be careful in how much you're trying to harass. But in one team fight, if you're full mana, just using say like Icy Veins and Frostbolting every second, and like having your like two rotations of spells with Frostbolts, like two rotations of Blizzard and Cone of Cold, that's so much damage, and you might be out of mana by the end of the team fight, but you should have pretty much already won that fight in that time if you're allowed just free reign with all these spells. So that's pretty much it. That's my thoughts on the Jaina changes. They're not that many changes because it's only the one deep chill change, but all in all, it opens up a lot more options from Jaina builds. You don't really need to necessarily see just the Snowstorm into Ice Block, into Root, Talents. Even though it's really good, I think Q build now has a lot of incentive to be taken. So that is pretty much it. And peace out, guys.